Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Now we are live, and today we have a really interesting topic. We will talk about sustainability business simulation experience in Egypt. And as you can see, the many faces around me, I'm not alone today. I'm Peter Szlavik on behalf of EDUardo, but here is Amira from GUC, Mohamed and Mostafa from Mindshift MENA. They will introduce themselves. So let's jump into the middle, and let me first introduce Mostafa, my co-host today, who will also lead the conversation. So Mostafa, it's you.
Okay, thank you, Peter, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Mostafa El-Halaby, co-founder of Mindshift MENA. I would also like to seize this opportunity to thank you, our audience, for coming and say to you, Happy New Year 2023, with all warm wishes that this year will be very prosperous, inshallah. And كل سنة وانتم طيبين وسنة سعيدة عليكم. Okay, Peter, go on. Thank you.
Okay, and then I'd like to ask, of course, lady first, to tell first few words about yourself, Amira.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. First of all, I would like to thank you all for letting me joining this session. First of all, Mr. Peter, thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Amira Gad. I'm a lecturer assistant in the German University in Cairo in the management faculty, and specific in accounting and finance department. I finalized my master thesis in 2017, and I have been working in the teaching field for almost 10 years now in the accounting education. Educating business students, different courses, undergraduate students, different accounting courses. This is my specialization.
Okay, and I also like to ask Mohamed to tell a few words about himself and Mindshift MENA.
Perfect. So thank you, Peter. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Mohamed El-Zaree. I am the founder of Mindshift MENA. I basically started this startup with the help of my team and Mostafa in 2020. Before that, I have been working in corporate, and I almost spent 18 years in corporate. My last corporate role, I was taking care of the entire Africa and Middle East region. I'm also a master trainer. I have a passion for training, coming from a family of educators. So to me, training is not just a job. For me, it's more of a passion towards improving and developing myself and also the others around me. In Mindshift MENA, we are so focused on making sure that we are having a positive impact on our trainees. Our slogan really is around applied learning. So our slogan is applied learning, sustainable impact. We believe so much in applied learning. Part of what we do is making sure that we transfer the knowledge of business acumen, anything related to strategy, to operations and financials, through gamified solutions. One of them is definitely the business simulations, and also have a blend of self-awareness and team dynamics. So this is a little bit about me. This is a little bit about Mindshift MENA. Super excited to have everyone here, and looking forward to your engagement and your question. Thank you.
Yes, so today we will talk about an exact learning experience which you experienced together, Amira and Mohamed. But before going into that, Amira, can you please remind me our first talk many months ago when you contacted us and said, "Oh, I'm interested in knowing more about business simulations and how possibly it could be integrated." So, what was the background of your research, and what led us to find us and initiate this connection?
Yes. First of all, I have started working on my PhD maybe since 4 years ago. The topic was accounting education in Egypt in general. Then maybe 2 years later, I decided to enrich my thesis by integrating a new topic, more focus, which is sustainability through gamified learning platform, through experimental studies, which includes students to be set in experiment. Afterwards, I started to search for a company provider to provide access to me to support my work. And it took me about more of 6 months to search for a company. And finally, I found EDUardo. and happily contact Mr. Peter, who showed great interest in my work. And he was very supportive because, in fact, EDUardo is one of the few providers who provide modules specifically tackling sustainability education in business, which is my focus and my passion actually in my thesis. So Mr. Peter provide very great support, and I believe he has a academic background. That's why he had interest, and he told me that their partners Mindshift in Egypt I can contact them for facilitation of the sessions, and then the journey started.
Okay, I hand over to Mostafa to lead the
Yes.
about the course, please.
Dr. Amira, we are more than glad and happy to help you with this study. So I just would like to know more about, can you please elaborate on how did this gamified business simulation as a sustainability and Mindshift MENA training help you with this project?
First of all, let me thank Mr. Mohamed, who was Mr. Mohamed El-Zaree, who was very supportive and responsive regarding my inquiries about the sustainability module. And he was more than helpful and welcoming to come on campus to provide facilitation to the students. So again, I chose EDUardo because they provide a very specific module tackling sustainability, and they have partners in Egypt, Mindshift MENA. I then started contact Mr. Mohamed, and we decided to conduct the experimental study on campus here. And thank God, maybe more than 140 students had joined the experiment. We conducted the experiment through 4 different sessions, and in each session, maybe 25 to 30 students in each session. Yes, they were divided into teams from 4 to 6 teams. And the facilitation went very successful, and I'm very happy that Mr. Mohamed was there, and because he had some other plans, but he made it to come. Partners, I think Ms. Soha Ghatas and Mrs. Amira, they were all very cooperative in facilitation of the sessions, and it was very successful.
Thank you, Dr. Amira. So, Mohammed, Dr. Amira mentioned about how the business simulation supported her PhD study. What I would like you to share with us now is the experience of delivering, and I know you had a great experience with delivering this business simulation training with the GUC. How did the students react to the new way of the training delivery using the business simulation, and what was the overall feeling of the students? Thank you.
Thank you, Mostafa. So I think when we are looking at the GUC students and what we did with them when we first started, apart from having them in teams, it was really essential for us to make sure that they understand the concepts of sustainability, and also make sure that they implement those concepts during the session. So as Peter was showing us here, as Peter is showing us, we started the session. Peter, if you can go to the next slide. We started the session. We always start most of our sessions with topics and with quotes to reinforce the idea of those concepts. So we started with the quote around sustainability, and then also what we do, if Peter, you can get us to the next slide. We started having the teams look into the videos that the simulation has. So within the simulation itself, you see articles, you see videos, and you also see the quiz. Within those videos, we're having 6 videos. So every session would have around 6 to maybe 8 teams, and they will watch these videos. And when they start watching these videos, they would start working together in teams, which is again part of what we're trying to do as part of our learning.
We are experiencing a delay from
watch the video.
So could you please tell the last?
Can you guys hear me now?
Could you please repeat your last sentence because we were not hearing you properly?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm sorry about this. What I was saying is we had the teams working together, watching the videos, understanding what sustainability is, and then sharing with each other. Right? So each and every team will go and present in front of the other teams, and they will present the concept that they understood throughout the video. And then afterwards, we divide them into teams to play the simulation. These simulations, yeah, Mostafa, since you asked me, when we have those teams, we will go and have roles of each and every team member. Who is the CEO, who is the finance director, sustainability director, sales, as well as production. Because now part of the learning experience is making them take the seat as in become the driver. So they take the driver's seat and they start taking decisions related to the role. They start communicating with each other related to the role. What that adds to their experience is now they start to make managerial decisions and they start to think strategically on what their company want the company to be.
Yes.
And that makes them understand how to work together in teams. So as you can show us, as you see here on the screen, when Peter, if you can show us the first one on the dashboard. Apart from the dashboard, we see here that the sustainability simulation will start with the sales, right? So what is the company is willing to, and going to sell? What is the quantity of and the amount of products that the company is going to sell, and what is the price? So they get to understand what is the quantity, what is the price. They also get to decide what is the revenue. Now, the production guy is going to come in and say, okay, you decided that we are going to produce this. Let us see if we're having the right people to make us do this production or not, which goes back into, you can show us the production now, the production capacity, Peter. Yet production capacity, do we have the right capacity with us in the plant? Do we have the right caliber of people and the right amount of people? So we go to the HR decisions to see whether we have the right people to do that or not, the raw materials. So again, comprehensively, when they make the decision, they think together in teams and they make this decision, which again impacts their learning. Apart from that, thank you, Peter, for showing this as well. Apart from that, they also get to understand, Mostafa, related to your question, they get to understand those concepts of sustainability by making sure that they implement those initiatives within their company. So now some of them would go and say, I want to implement an initiative around renewable energy, for example, because this is going to impact my carbon footprint. And then they start looking at those initiatives and how, in a nutshell, those initiatives are going to add value to the company. So I think the entire experience itself of dividing them, making them take the decisions really made a lot of good efforts. Peter, what I would like to show here is I would like to show the how the teams were competing also, because I think this is something that, yes, so the success criteria, we went in to work with us, with the students to say, so the students, the criteria is around profitability as well as eco rating. So let's go and look at some of the results. Here you can see on the screen, the sales prices of different teams. And sales prices will definitely have an impact on the profits, right? So again, the profitability of each and every team, we can see that through the reporting. And also we can see, if you go to the next one, the product, not only the product repetition, but the eco rating as well, Peter. If you go and see the eco rating of some of those teams, who is the best team in terms of achieving the eco rating? So they would go and in a gamified environment, they will compete against each other to see who is the best in terms of achieving the profitability, but also in achieving the eco-rating. And I think overall experience was really good because the students were happy to take the driver's seat, to make those decisions, but also happier to be competing against each other while they are learning new concepts. So I'm not sure, Mostafa, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I get what you were mentioning, right? Doctor, so Muhammad, if I may ask you, I know that there was like a competition between the teams among the GUC students. So, how did they compete, and how did you choose the winning teams among them?
I think the competition.
We don't hear you, Mohammed. We don't hear you. You are muted.
Sorry. So I think, Mustafa, the competition was around making those teams working, as I was explaining, with every team taking a role, and then working and looking at the success criteria, whether it's profitability or eco rating or the eco perception and the overall results. They will start implementing decisions within their virtual company. And through those decisions, that every decision that they make, whether they are selling more or hiring people or maybe training more people or having a new initiatives implemented, all these decisions will go, and remember, they will have an impact on profitability as well as the eco rating. So when those teams would go and play against each other, every team, some of them would be the winner, which not necessarily mean that on the next round, which is the next month, they will be the winner. So they start competing against each other and on round by round basis, and then on the last round, we decide who is the best team based on their overall performance, which is related to profitability as well as the eco rating.
So, okay, Dr. Amira, can I ask you if you can you share with us maybe some of your thoughts about maybe decision making, strategic thinking, team performance, or even management skills for the students in the gamified learning environment? You know, you were watching them and seeing how they interact with the simulation. So maybe if you share with us your thoughts, it will be helpful to know the impact of simulation on the students.
Yes, of course. Let me share my experience regarding the simulation experiment in our campus in specific. Then I will talk to you in some general words. First of all, me and Dr. Hela, the organizer of the session, we were impressed by how much the students were immersed in working together. They were very interacting. I felt that they are engaging in a way that's we didn't ever witnessed in traditional education way of education. This is a truth, and I have to tell. Of course, sometimes they had some disagreements, some conflicts, because as we have mentioned, that each one of the students was representing a role in the business in a virtual company. So I believe some conflicts and disagreements had happened, and this was also witnessed in the post survey that we have distributed. I don't have the results right now, but from general background or general view of the survey, I believe they felt a very strong sense of connection and intimacy. However, in many times they had the disagreement together. But I believe this is a good point, because in real life, of course, they will face such disagreement, conflicts, and some I can't say problems, but of course, with their colleagues in the future, I believe there will be many conflicts, and they need to know how to handle them. So this is my point of view regarding the experiment session.
And at this point, I like to encourage our audience to use the question possibility. So we are in a live session with all its beauties, but it has an upside element that you can ask questions live. So please text your questions. We will see it, and then we will read it aloud and answer them. Meanwhile, the audience thinking about the questions. Amira, let me ask you: you had some preliminary thought about the dynamics of using the simulation. Okay, this was a classroom experiment. EDUardo is also fitting self-learning, but comparing your initial expectations and what was on these 4 different sessions, how can you compare it? What kind of summary you can make on your experience compared to the expectations?
I believe I had spoken to Mr. Mohamed El-Zaree about my expectations, and I told him that the sessions were much above my expectations, in fact. Why I'm telling so? Because it was the first time for us to experience such a session. Sadly, I should tell that we don't have such gamified platform in our university. We mainly rely upon the traditional way of teaching. So this was the first time for us to witness such experiment or interactive sessions. So for me, I was afraid. I don't know the feedback of the students. I don't know how they can interact. Will they be engaged? Will they be interested? Will they enjoy or no? I don't have expectations. But after the 4 sessions, I had conducted my feedback to Mr. Mohamed that they go beyond my expectations above, and that was very successful.
Okay, and of course, it's true that localization is important. And now I'd like to show you something which is really a debut. If you look at the screen now, part of the exercise is now available with Arabic script, because Mindshift MENA started to localize this case study. This eco simulation is one of the modules we have, one of the many modules. This is a co-creation of EDUardo, a company from Chile. So you realize it's already 3 continents: Europe, Africa, Middle East, and also Latin America. But it's really important to have a localization, and language-wise and cultural-wise. It's possible for the learning materials and also the language itself. So at this point, I'd like to ask you, Mohamed, how do you see the importance of localization, both language and local content, in the region? And what are your plans on behalf of Mindshift MENA regarding this? So please unmute yourself.
Sorry, Peter. I couldn't hear this quite clearly. Can you please repeat it?
Yes, I'd like to ask you how important you think the localization, both language-wise and also teaching material-wise, is important in your region, and also what is your plan together with your team? What do you target in this field in the forthcoming period?
That's a very good question. I think localization is very important for us in the region, whether we're looking at either Egypt, Saudi, or UAE, the entire MENA region. Really, it's a region that speaks Arabic, and they like to basically learn not only in English but also in Arabic. So localization is very important, and to have certain topics being translated into Arabic, and then sometimes even trained into Arabic, is one of the key important skills for any company to have. In fact, some of the parameters where we get measured on as successful trainers is whether being able to localize the content either by examples or by or by the language itself. Now, when I look into what we're trying to do as a company, I think we're working towards having 100% localized, 100% translated into Arabic content using EDUardo and also our training materials. Some of this can be reflected not only on the simulation, but on the business cases, as you were showing, Peter, and also some of the videos. So we are working on translating those videos and having those videos being edited and being presented by either Egyptian models, or even the voiceover will be done in Arabic, either in Egyptian Arabic or a different language or a different dialect. So I think localization for us is very important, and it's one of the key criterias where we think is going to make us very unique in our value proposition, not only providing a simulation, but also providing an Arabic simulation.
And meanwhile, we got a question. Mustafa, can you help us?
Sure. I got here a question from Danilo about what did the students say about the experience. Maybe Dr. Amira would like to share us with her thoughts about this question. Thank you.
Yes, I got oral feedback and emails and texts and many positive feedback, thanks God, regarding the experience. As I have mentioned, this was their first time to feel the independency in decision making. They are responsible for every decision they are taking. They are working on teams together, and they need to achieve one target. So they were very excited about that. I also need to mention that from my perspective, and there is also that they learned how to work under stress. I think Mr. Mohamed witnessed the stress of time factor in the session. So in general, I believe that Gamified platform, from my perspective, academic perspective, I mean, it's under the umbrella of interactive learning. And nowadays, interactive learning is very important and should be act as supplementary to traditional learning in all undergraduate and postgraduate student studies. And I witnessed this in the session. As I have mentioned, that they were taking decision independently. They were working on teams and under stress, and these are essential skills for future career life. So yes, I got positive feedback from nearly all the students, because we have personal contact with our students. So they provided me with a very good feedback regarding the session. Maybe the only comment that we got, and I believe Mr. Mohamed also witnessed that, is that the time of the session was a little bit short. The session was for 4 hours. I believe they needed to stay more. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Amira. Professor Heba was telling us to document the experiment and the KPIs of success in an official paper or report. Yes, we definitely need to record it by cam. We had like material pictures and small video shots, but not recording the whole experiment. But we will definitely do this for the next delivery. Thank you, Dr. Heba, for your input.
I think also, Mustafa, working on this could be an interesting point where we can ask. I think here, Dr. Amira, Dr. Hiba was mentioning that we probably need to document this, and I think part of the activity that we can do in 2023, working together with you, is going to be around having a little bit of a documentation or writing a white paper on how we saw the entire experience. I think that can really add a lot of value to how people perceive the experience of gamification and sustainability gamification, specifically because, yes, it's not new in Egypt, but unfortunately until now, and as you rightly said, gamification and business simulations are not really enrolled so much within the universities. So to have this documented and to have it as a white paper can be pushing the regulations around implementing more and more of the business simulation in different universities. I'm not sure how you think about this.
For me, yes, for me, okay. As I have told you before, that this was a personal initiative. Still, I don't have the power to make such movement. But for this, it was a personal experience for me and Dr. Hala as well. And we will just document this through our video and documentary video and our feedback. But I don't have the power yet to make such movement.
What I'd also like to add, it's another dimension, is that Amira mentioned that there was short time. So these
Yes.
simulations are specifically designed to be self-runnable so that the students can continue it after the session. Okay, this was an experimental session now and not integrated into the learning. But the typical approach of learning with these simulations is that have a combination with interaction with the teacher and in groups, but also self-learning, because that gives a personalized experience on their own speed, own path. And as we know, all the students are different. They can go into the various subfields, and that's. I think it's important to know. Mohamed, you have a kind of a surprise, and you want me to show a page. Can you tell me what is this, and then I can start it.
Yeah, so it's this is one of the videos that we were putting as a part of the localization. Since we mentioned about localization, so not only the content but also the videos and how they react. So if we can play, let's say, the first 45 seconds for audience to
Okay.
see them. This is videos localized in Arabic.
الاستدامة بترتبط في الشركات بحاجات كتير، زي المسؤولية الاجتماعية للشركات، تجنب طباعة الورق وإعادة التدوير. لكن الاستدامة معناها مش بس كده، معناها أكبر من كده بكتير. الشركة المستدامة هي الشركة اللي بتقدر تحافظ على كيانها مع مرور الوقت، يعني بتقدر تحافظ على ربحيتها وفي نفس.
So excellent. Of course, I'm sure it will be the text also in Arabic so that it will match. But you were in a hurry of preparing it for the today's session. It was a great surprise and good to see. You saw the logo of EDUardo, because these contents are done and designed by EDUardo, which is a Chilean enterprise, and they are specialized in sustainability education, and this is where the content is coming from. So thank you for that. If you allow me to also to share something that at EDUardo we have several modules, so a lot of case studies, including entrepreneurship, financial management, leadership. Also, we have another of entrepreneurship, which is available in Arabic version, and that's the work of the Mindshift MENA localization. It even covers local countries, so that it's not only the language is localized, but also the target countries are allocated. And it's possible to try out the system. Maybe I can ask Mostafa or Mohamed to put into LinkedIn the registration link where anybody can register and got exclusive access even to this Arabic content. Okay, Mostafa, do you have any other questions around?
Sorry, Peter, I couldn't hear what you said. What was your question?
Question you found in the chat, meanwhile, that we should address our guests?
No, but maybe if our audience can may ask us, and I'm sure that they have some question in the floor for them.
Yes, we just got an additional question.
Yes, there is a question popping up from Sama. Yes, what do you think the students should do to improve their decision-making skills regarding sustainability? That's a wonderful question, Sama. Thank you very much. So,
okay,
maybe, Mohammed,
I think thank you very much, Mustafa, and it's a great question, as you said. Indeed, thank you, Sama, for it. I think decision-making skills. What you probably need to think about is, before you take these decisions, we always encourage people to try many times with different strategies and different approaches. And in reality, part of the simulation is actually encouraging that. So I think my answer is not only to use the simulation once, but use it in different strategies and different approaches, and see how the impact is using different strategies. To give you an example, for example, if we are talking about pricing and pricing sensitivity, for example, when we go into a price sensitive market, we probably can go and use a strategy of implementing a cost leadership, or still go and say, we are a quality-based company, we will go and apply and implement differentiation leadership strategy. So each and every one of them is going to have a different approach in terms of how to do the operations of it, hiring different people, doing different developments, and so on, which will definitely also have a financial impact. The beauty of the simulation is, when you apply each of these strategies, you get to see what you need to do in terms of operations and how it's all connected when it comes to the financials. So I think part of what I would encourage people to do is, if you want to really implement your decision-making skills, don't only read about those decision-making skills, but also apply them. And if you cannot apply them in reality, then simulations and business simulations can be a safe test bed. And in all honesty, it's a risk-free environment for you to actually test whatever concepts you need to test and see the results. I'm not sure if that was answering your question, Yasana.
Amira, anything to add to Mohamed's summary?
Yeah, I just completely agree with Mr. Mohammed. For me, and from an academic perspective, again, sustainability in business is a new topic, and so introducing such a new topic, from my point of view, should be through a new way, applied learning, as he just mentioned, applied learning, interactive learning. I can tell it can be a supplementary to traditional learning, but business simulation for me is the best solution to educate students a new topic, especially business students. As Mr. Mohammed said, it is a risk-free environment. They are working in an environment, a virtual company, and they are trying to balance between profits and environmental impacts through the simulation. So they are learning through doing, which is very good. It's very, I believe it's much from my perspective, it's much more important now than traditional learning when we need to educate a new topic. I believe it is business simulation is the perfect solution.
Okay, and I think, Mohamed, this might lead to one of your invitations. So you have an event forthcoming in February.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for showing this. In fact, what we were doing as a part of gesture to the attendees of this event is we are actually organizing an event that is going to take place in Sultan Hussein Kamel Palace. This is in Heliopolis, Masr Jadida, in Al Korba. And we will actually have this event in the first week of February. So what we would love to do is, if you can take out your cameras right now, just get on the QR code or go on the link to our website, which is mindshiftmena.com/simulation event. We would love to invite you to actually come in and attend the simulation with us. During this event, we are going to work and do the testing using our entrepreneurship business simulation. So please come in. You will enjoy working not only with the sustainability, but if you tested the sustainability and you want to work on something like entrepreneurship to see how the entrepreneurship education can be different using business simulation, that could be a very good tool. So I would love to see you there during the event.
Yes, and we got a question, Nahel.
Yeah, from Nahel. Okay, go on, Peter.
If you allow me to answer that. So EDUardo is a business simulation, which is in category, it's serious game. It's nothing to do with gaming. It's a gamified learning. So that's important to state. So it's not for entertainment purposes, it's for learning purposes, but it gives a comprehensive learning experience from beginning till end with specific targeted learning outcomes. So the official category is serious game, but it's nothing to do with gaming and nothing to do with education. So I hope it answers the categories. Before finishing the session, is there any question left on your side, Mostafa? And also we like to ask the guest if there's anything answer or thought which is not yet articulated. Please share us before we finish the session.
Peter, thank you. I was just wanted to ask Dr. Amira, do you think that simulation is suitable only for business students, or maybe we can implement it with other disciplines? So can other students simulate?
As you know, I'm an accounting specialist, business education specialist. So I believe sustainability is crucial in business learning. However, I have read a lot in sustainability, and it came across for me the importance of sustainability in other disciplines. I believe some maybe areas like engineering, water production, maybe I think all relates to production engineers or so on, but I didn't, of course, go deeply into because it's not my field. But from a general perspective, of course, sustainability is very important in all disciplines. But I don't know the level of importance. But for me, in business, sustainability is crucial. I believe it's also important in other disciplines, but I don't know how much the level. But of course, I came across many researchers and authors who are interested in implementing sustainability in other disciplines.
Thank you, Dr. Amira. And we have another question from Mohammed to assess the scenarios for entrepreneurship cases, since it is hard to be measured. This is a very good question, by the way.
let me show you something in this connection, this question,
you.
which Mohamed Mostafa asked. If you see the screen, this is the evaluation part of one of the simulations, which is on entrepreneurship. At the end of the simulation, there is an auto-evaluation in many dimensions. And it's also written part with certain KPIs. But the radar diagram is the most appropriate and balanced way of evaluating. Of course, as you see a video on the top, there could be a balanced evaluation of these points, and it's typically done by the teacher. So if there is a teacher, the teacher knows what is in the focus and can assign weight to these evaluation metrics. So one course to another, the overall evaluation could be different, but the course itself has several built-in KPI dimensions. I can even go to zoom on these different elements. Mohamed, do you have anything to add to this question?
I think yes. So thank you, Peter. I think when we're looking at entrepreneurship, specifically in the MENA region, part of the challenge we are having is not only, sometimes in the idea stage for entrepreneurship and startups, we go and say the most challenging part is the product market fit. But then, specifically in the past few months, we have seen that we're having successful startups, but yet they struggle or they have challenges, not because they don't have the right product, but simply because they are having not the right team, they don't have the right team, or they might be struggling with their cash flow, or they might be struggling with how they manage their priorities. And the simulation really comes in to add a lot of value in here, because now you can work on your strategy to try again different strategies and to implement them into different operational scenarios and to see how is this going to impact the financials. A lot of companies would go and fail, either startups or micro or small or mid-size businesses. They would go and fail because of the lack of prioritization, or because of the lack of not having the right team or the right culture, or definitely the cash flow. And I think using the simulation would definitely add value to make sure that those entrepreneurs, when they come and they start to have their ideas implemented, they can at least link everything that they're having as technical expertise, link it to business acumen. So they start growing their business acumen and they start growing their business understanding. And that can really save them from failing so much. So I think that's how the simulation is adding value to the entrepreneurship ecosystem and the entrepreneurship scene in the MENA region.
Amira, any comment to this?
Yes, I would like to ask Mr. Mohamed a question. I believe, as you have all said, that localizing business simulations to each country is very important, and translating the simulation into Arabic is such an amazing initiative. But I need to ask him, who are the target groups that he is targeting? As from my field, of course, in our university, the teaching language is English, and all the private universities around are the same. So, and I believe in corporate as well. I don't know a group of people who use business in Arabic actually in Egypt. Is that for the public universities or for other people? I just need to know.
Very, very good question. Thank you very much, Peter. If you can show us the screen again of the Arabic one, that would be interesting for people to see. So, Dr. Amira, let's remember one thing: the people who get to speak English in Egypt and also in the region can be around, let's say, 50% maybe. Although I think that's a little bit too high. But then again, there are people who are interested to understand concepts, specifically if those concepts are new to them, so they would want to understand those concepts sometimes in Arabic, and that's why we are localizing this. So it's that the segment, as you rightly said, it can be implemented for public universities where the public speak Arabic more than English. Different countries like Saudi, for example, and also having concepts to be explained in Arabic for people who, even these, when they speak English, they would still have a little bit of a tummy comfort when they understand concepts in Arabic. So I think that's why we're doing the localization for all three reasons.
This is a very good add-on. Thank you for this.
And of course, we can add that this is a choice of the learner. That's individual choices. You see the languages. Many modules are available on certain languages, and then it's possible to use the one which fits its orientation. So what if somebody wants to learn in German at a German university?
This is a new challenge then.
Yeah. So of course not all the modules, because localization sometimes is really a challenging work, especially with where the characters are different or your orientation is from right to left. So that gives some UI challenge, but that's there. Okay, I think as we are getting to the end of the course, let me again just share this event QR code. So if you happen to be in Egypt and you are interested in of meeting Mindshift team physically, then you can follow this link. We also have in the chat, we position the registration. It's free, absolutely free registration, where you can also see the demo version of the MENA Arabic version of the entrepreneurship. And of course you can follow us on LinkedIn and see for other events, and a lot is coming, I can tell you, in this year. So just a quick question to everybody. First, Amira, how did you feel today together with us, and do you have any final message or final thought before we finish?
I would like to thank you for letting me being a part of this session. It was my pleasure to be with you all. It was very beneficial for me again to know some of your new insights about gamification again, as you know all that it's my passion, gamification and business simulation game. And I hope audience had get some benefit from our talk. And I'm available anytime for any questions, even after the live session.
Thank you. Mohamed, your final thoughts?
No, thank you. That was a great session. I loved it. I love the questions, love the engagement. One more time, I would love to thank the audience who were able to actually attend, and those who were not able to attend. I'm pretty sure they would have their all sorts of good reasons, but we're looking forward to see you during the February event. One more time, as Mostafa was saying, I wish everyone a great 2023. It's a great start of the year. We're having a great start having you all in the session. Thank you very much for attending, and كل سنة وانتم طيب.
حضرتك طيب.
Thank you, Mostafa, also co-hosting this event together. And it was a live event. You realized we had challenges with the sound and connection, but this is part of it. At least we had a lot of questions. Thank you for the questions. Just follow us and look out for new content, which we will soon present together with Mindshift MENA team and other partners at EDUardo. Thank you for joining today, and see you soon.
Thank you. It was lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Dr. Amira. Thank you, Mohammed. Thanks for all our audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.